In this problem, we're given the student evaluation ratings of courses, and what we want to do is construct a confidence interval using a 90% confidence level. And we want to know, what does the confidence interval tell about the population of all college students in the state? So we're given a list of values, and we're going to start by entering that into list 1 in your graphing calculator. So once you have that data in your calculator, you're going to choose t-interval for this problem. And how do I know that it should be t-interval and not z-interval? So it's t-interval because sigma is not known. How do I know that I don't know sigma? They don't say anything whatsoever about standard deviation. So you have to be careful in these problems. If they say standard deviation, but they don't say population or sample, then you have to look at the context and see, is it a population standard deviation? And then you know sigma, and you would do z-interval. If it's in the context of sample information, then you would do t-interval as we're doing here. But since they didn't tell us the standard deviation of any kind, then what we're going to do is use the data from the list to find the sample standard deviation. So that's why we're using t-interval here. So once you go into t-interval, and you're going to do that by pressing stat, and then go over to the tests menu, and t-interval is number 8 in that list. So it's number 8 t-interval. And when you select that, then it's going to ask you, what is the input? So they put INPT, and that means input. Is it data or stats? So for our situation, this is going to be data. So then we just have to put in the list, and that was L1. And they ask you about the frequency, and that's going to be 1. That's the default, and we shouldn't have to change that ever. So that's all set. And finally, we need to know the confidence level. So in this case, it's a 90% confidence level, and you can put in 0.90, or you can just say the number 90. Either way, it will accept it. So once I do that, then I calculate. And what I get for a confidence interval, and let's see, we want this rounded to 2 decimal places. So this is going to be 3.65 to 4.17. So that's our confidence interval here. And then it says, what does the confidence interval tell about the population of all college students in this state? Well, these ratings were from one university in a state. So it doesn't really tell us about all college students in the state. That would be a very biased sample. So that's why the correct answer is B. So that's how you do that problem.